Hey guys, my name is Nelshonda Taylor, and I'm going to be talking to you today about children, violent video games, and the violent outcome. The more children play violent video games, the more likely they are to become more violent. Almost everyone have kids nowadays, so they know how they act. They know that they have heard, played, or even seen these things, and some put it into action, like they start using vulgar language. I've seen some kids firsthand become violent off of video games. They watch it on TV because some of these be true events off of TV. So I have found plenty of information on the subject at hand. Violent video games can make kids' anxiety level and stress levels increase. They're more likely to become uncivil, aggressive, and rebellious towards their family and their peers. Today, I'm going to talk to you and help you understand how some kids can become dangerous or have violent behavior off of these games. Why kids should not be spent in front of a TV for hours playing these games, and that it is prone to negative increasing and such. With this discussion, it is almost the talk it is almost never talked about. But let me tell you, you have to keep an eye out on your kids. Understanding why violent video games are made and the reason behind it is most companies, they see their sales skyrocket. Sales go up, so they tend to think that, hey, the people are really buying these games. The games were not made until the 1970s, but it wasn't until the 1990s that they have become extremely violent. Being obsessed with a video game is all fun and games until you start figuring out how much game time is too much game time. With, with kids, the love for the game is a mystery. Whether you kill or just become aggressive cannot be fully comprehended yet. Not all kids who play video games become violent, and not all video games are violent. According to an article, An Elimination of the Modern Mediation Effect, published in September 2015 by Ron Soule, he explains how he conducts an experiment, and they have found that kids who play video games are more likely to become more aggressive than kids who are passionate about the game and more committed to just the excitement. The way violent video games have negative impact on a child is its negative physical consequences. For instance, like them being at school, at a friend's house, or even at the park. Children and adolescents today spend most of their time at home, by friends, or at school. Kids are still developing brain at a young age, so they're more prone to, hey, if I'm playing a video game all day and I see nothing but violence surrounding me, that they might think that this is normal. According to another article, Negative Impacts of Violent Video Games on Children, published July 21 by Brady. This research states that a child playing video games, interactions with family is decreasing, and it causes psychological isolation. It's mentally disturbance on kids' health is also another one. The amount of time spent playing a video game have negative correlations with academic performances also. These games usually contain a theme of language, violence, sex, horror, drugs. But some might even argue that kids can learn this from anywhere, and they're correct. But where does a child who don't go outside spend most of their time? Glued to a TV playing a video game. Everyone here is hopefully more aware of the de-isolation that a video game can bring to their kids. Yet, we still buy our kids these video games thinking that, hey, that's not going to be my child. The consequences of playing these games in an unhappy or unstable household is very more likely. The fulfillment of being loved by your family members or not getting enough attention from your parents tends to bring kids more towards playing violent video games. They bully other kids because they think that this is okay. The aggressive behavior, the signs of abuse, hitting, slapping, or even fighting, even more so talking back to their parents. These are all things that violent video games can have on your kid. Kids are more, kids think that these games are just a hobby, but some take it way more to the extreme. There's more hobbies to be played. You can go to the park, or art museum, or even playing with friends outside. Sleep and fatigueness, being stuck in front of a video game. Seeing how violent video games are steady making away, these games can become more aggressive, exploiting women, and even being in a club drinking. This affects kids to a higher level. My resources are Dan McGraw College, Dan Witheld, Song Rowe, and Lizzie Dangren.